What's up, YouTube, and welcome back to another Division 2 video. Today we are going to do our first build video. I've held off on this because I've wanted to do this right, kind of have it organized the proper way and make sure my build is just, up to par, everything's right. Sometimes you have a build where you might need one piece or that one attribute to be changed or whatever. But this is one build that I have. It's perfectly set up as I want it, and I have no issues with it. So we'll get straight into it. Let me just lower the volume on these NPCs. Now, today's build will be our Hunter's Fury build. A build that I started with and ran for hundreds of shade levels. It was the only build I used because I wasn't familiar with the build making process. So this is my build right here, and we're gonna go to our stats to start off. So these are my stats right now. I'm sitting at 53% crit chance. I don't go any higher. The cap is 60%. I don't go any higher than 50 because if you just think about it, 50% of your shots will be a critical hit. I think that's all you need. An extra 10%. I don't really see the point when I could just add some more crit damage or even some more headshot damage and just put more out there. So I'm sitting here at 53% critical hit chance. I am sitting at 128.9% critical hit damage and 70% headshot damage. So first, let's go through what I'm using, which is my specialization, the minigun. Reason why I'm using the minigun is for, where is it? I'm looking for it right here. So this gives me 10% armor on kill, which complements Hunter's Fury well. We'll get into it when we go over the actual gear set, but this right here helps us a ton. 10% armor on kill, and there's a lot of other things this specialization offers that just help the build in general. Good example is armor kits repairing 100% of your armor and even granting some bonus armor, faster reloads, the Banshee pulse, which is fantastic, increased rate of fire, and I know there's something else that I like a lot. All right, here, the riot foam grenade. Obviously, you also get extra damage on your weapons on the tree. So that's the specialization. That's what we're using. And now we'll go to our weapons, which our first weapon being the Dark Zone exclusive Dark Winter. As you can see, I have a max SMG, max crit. I don't know why I haven't just brought up that damage to targets out of cover, but yes, I'm running damage to targets out of cover. That will be maxed probably right after we finish this video. I will max that out. And a big disclaimer, as you can see, all my gear has expertise rolls on them. My Dark Winter's a 10, 10, 10, 10. You see here. So I'm definitely, if you copy and paste this build, your numbers won't match this exactly. Even if you're a shade level 1000, because you would have to have done exactly what I did here. So if you don't have those numbers next to your build, it's fine. I've been rocking this since these were a 0. So it's pretty good. Now, the reason why I'm rocking the Dark Winter is because of the talent, Perfect Killer. Killing an enemy with a critical hit grants 50% critical hit damage. So the moment I take someone out with a critical hit, I get more critical hit damage, which will then bring me to 178.9% critical hit damage, which is obviously insane. On top of bonuses we get from the gear set, but we'll get there. Now, the second weapon I'm using, your exotic. You carry one exotic per build, and that is the Scorpio. One, because the gear set complements using a shotgun, but also because this gun is just entirely broken. With this build, I honestly think I must 2-tap, 3-tap yellow enemies. I almost forgot what they were called. And you get all of these status effects in this talent. Let's go through it. Shooting a target applies stacks of venom, which lasts for 10 seconds. Increasing stacks adds more severe debuffs to the target. So 1 shot on a target applies poison, 3 shots disorient, 6 shots shock, and 7 shots target takes additional 20% damage from all sources. but the stacks will no longer increase after that. The duration of the status effects is based on the percentage of the pellets on applying the shot. So you'll understand why I'm using this in particular, these two weapons, once we go through the actual gear set. So let's go through the gear set. 2 pieces on the gear set, we get an extra SMG and shotgun damage. So right here, we're getting an extra 15% on each of these weapons in damage. Now, 3-piece, we get armor on kill, health on kill, right? So remember our specialization at 10%? So now we're getting 30% armor on kill, along with our damage buffs, right? Now, 4-piece. Enemies within 15 meters receive a debuff, amplifying your weapon damage against them by 20%. Killing a debuffed enemy with your weapon disorients other enemies within 5 meters and amplifies weapon damage by 5% for 10 seconds, stacking up to 5 times. Why is this significant? Well, as you can see, and maybe you're kind of catching on, everything's coming together. We're getting now an additional 20% weapon damage just being within 15 meters of the enemy. So the gear set gives us 15. We're using a shotgun and SMG, so we're getting that 15. Now we're getting an additional 20. That's 35% damage on our weapons. Now, whenever we kill an enemy within 15 meters that has the debuff for Hunter's Fury, it amplifies our weapon damage by 5% and stacks up to 5 times. So that's an additional 25% weapon damage after, we kill our marked enemies, which will give us 15%, then 20%, right? We're at 35. Now an additional 25, let's say 40. That's an extra 60% weapon damage on our shotgun and our SMG. Once we have all these stacks and everything is up, we're doing a ton more damage on our weapons. So as you can see, it complements it well. So now, what do these 2 items do? Well, first we're rocking the Momento. Obviously a god tier exotic most people should have. If you don't have this exotic, definitely grind for it. Now, the talent is kill confirmed. Enemies you kill drop a trophy on death. Collecting trophies provide both a short and long-term buff, the first of which scales with the number of core attributes equipped and lasts 10 seconds. So as you can see, for every red core, you get an additional 5% weapon damage. For every blue core, you get an additional 10% bonus armor. And for every yellow core, you get 5% skill efficiency. So we'll start here, right? We'll start with this first half. The moment we get a kill and collect our first trophy, that is what we get. So as you can see, how many red cores do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. So now multiply that when I go back. So now 4 times 5, we're getting an additional 20% weapon damage. We're getting an addition. Now for blue, we have 3 blue, right? Now we get an extra 30%, right? 3 blue times 10 bonus armor. And then with our Memento, we get 1 skill tier. So then we get an additional 5% skill efficiency. I know it's a lot. And as you can see, a lot of things are stacking. Things are getting heavy. Now, let's say now I have everything procced for Hunter Fury. Have everything procced for everything else. Now I do this on Momento. I have my 60% with my Hunter's Fury and everything else. Now with this, that's 60%. And I'm getting an additional 20% weapon damage. Now we're up at 80% weapon damage. Now it gets even better. For every trophy collected afterward, we get an additional 1% weapon damage, an additional 1% skill efficiency, and 0.1% armor regen for 300 seconds, which is pretty much an entire fight. It stacks up to 30 times. Well, maximum is 30 stacks. So that'll be an additional 30% weapon damage, additional 30% skill efficiency. All these stacks and buffs come up. I'm going, my critical hit, my just weapon damage, all my damage I'm putting out is absolutely insane. So now you might be wondering, okay, it's a lot of damage. We have some decent armor when we're sitting at 1.3 million. and it's a build that obviously requires you to be in the enemy's face running around. Now, to help us out, we're rocking our 0F's chest piece. The brand set gives us some bonus shotgun damage, so again, more damage. We obviously get our armor, our blue core, we have some reds, and we have our talent perfectly unbreakable. When your armor is depleted, repair 100% of your armor. So obviously, being that I have to be in their face to get the Apex Predator talent debuff going on, I have to be close so I can collect my trophies with my Momento, and I'm obviously using an SMG and a shotgun, so I can't be too far to begin with. This right here helps me out in case I make a dumb move. Maybe I make a mistake, maybe I get caught in a bad position. Whatever the case is, it's almost like having a second life. I have my second chance. Now, to help with that survivability, since I'm going to be in their face and I need to just be alive while I'm running around pumping out damage, collecting my trophies, I obviously have my Crusader shield. You can never go wrong with the Crusader shield. I feel like this is used in almost every damage DPS build that you can find, especially if you're doing just open world activity. With this, as you can see on my mods, I'm getting some holster regen. I actually was using this for something else yesterday. This is what I usually have it on, as you will see right now. I have my shield health. I have an additional 1% damage bonus per enemy, and an additional 5% damage bonus per enemy. So I'm getting some cover with my shield, and I'm getting some more damage with my shield out. Now for some more survivability, I have my defender drone. Deflect some bullets. I feel like the skills, you can go with whatever works. I imagine this would work just well if you're doing like a riot foam and a decoy, or just anything else that can just help out and complement this build. You don't have to use these in particular. The shield is pretty clutch, but the drone, I think you can do whatever you want. But there we have it. This is my Hunter's Fury build. I went through my stats for you, so you can see what my stats are. This is what the build looks like. I will click on every individual item just so you can copy and paste in case you want to do that. You can see the exact mods I have on. You can see what the attributes are. As you can see, for those that may copy and paste, I don't mind people copy and pasting. I see some people who do damage builds that kind of are really fast with showing these parts. I don't know why, but there we have it. Hunter's Fury. I will show you some gameplay of heroic things that I did. I've ran this build on heroic strongholds, heroic missions, heroic countdown, heroic control points. I have just disclaimer, I've never used this build in the incursion or in a raid ever, so I can't guarantee this would work. And I also haven't used this playing legendary. Usually if I'm doing those types of things, I just run striker. You can never go wrong striker, but I haven't used it for those three things. So huge disclaimer, if you make this build and you're just like, I'm gonna jump into legendary on an incursion, I don't know if this works that well. I would imagine it doesn't, because it requires you to just be in their face, and it's not really something you want to do when the enemy puts out a lot of damage. But there we have it, folks. Hunter's Fury. Let me know what you guys think of the build. Let me know what your Hunter's Fury build is. Comment down below. You can give me exactly piece for piece how you run your Hunter's Fury, and I'll try to copy and paste it myself, and just to try it out, see if it plays a little different than mine. And you know, maybe I do enjoy your Hunter's Fury more than mine. Until next time, I'll see you on the next one.